Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. I am excited today to talk with you about something that is very near and dear to my heart, something that I've personally experienced, that I've personally gone through, that I feel very, very strongly about, and that's postpartum mental health. So we'll jump right in. I'll let you know right off the bat, this probably isn't going to be a very funny video. It's not going to be something that's super amusing, and that's because this is not a super funny or amusing time in my life. I think it's great. I think it's great that we're getting to a place where we can talk about these things and we can joke about these things. But what I'm really finding is that there's not enough information out there about real women, real experiences, real things that we have gone through, and I find myself really drawn to doing that, to being part of that change. So I'll jump right into it. After my third child, Griffin, was born, I found myself elated. I had this beautiful, amazing labor, and it was relaxing, and I connected with my baby, and I listened to music the whole time, and my goal was getting him here. My goal was getting a healthy, happy, living baby at the end. And I kind of felt during my whole pregnancy like once that happened, we'd kind of figure out the rest. So he was born, and we were in the hospital, and he aspirated on some fluid that he was coughing out, and the nurses ran in. It was this big moment. They did a wonderful job. They suctioned him out. It went really well. And then they walked out of the room, and my husband went back to sleep. And I was staring at this baby, and all of a sudden it was like my whole world crashed around me. The security of having him here no longer felt like security. It felt like I just had someone show me, hey, I hope you enjoy this little beautiful gift, and how quickly this can all be taken away. And my whole world was rocked. Sounds like a really little thing probably to someone who's not going through any kind of postpartum mental health, but to me it was really shifting. It really rocked my whole foundation. And from there, it really just started snowballing. I had great help and support. My husband was home the first 2 weeks, and my mom was there after that for the first week after my husband went back to work. I had amazing help. And then all of a sudden, everyone left. Everyone else was working, everyone was gone, and I sat there with this baby, again, looking down at him like, who in their right mind trusted me to take this tiny little thing home from the hospital? And I was really suffering quietly. I hadn't slept at all. You know, my husband had to be the one who was taking turns sleeping in shifts with me, because I was really convinced that if I fell asleep and no one was watching him, that he would die. I started to experience really, really intense anxiety and really deep depression. I didn't want people visiting. I didn't want anyone touching him. I didn't want anyone that had any kind of smell on them at all to transfer it. I was panicked about losing his newborn smell. I was bombarded with what I know now to be intrusive thoughts of dropping things accidentally on his head and him dying, thoughts of us driving off the road and him dying, a million different ways that he could die. And it's all I thought about. I couldn't leave my bedroom. I couldn't get out of bed. I laid in bed and nursed my baby all day, every day. And when Griffin was around 5.5 months, we found that there's only one, which is ridiculous, perinatal psychiatric inpatient unit in the entire United States that just specifically deals with perinatal mood disorders, and that is in North Carolina. And so we flew out to North Carolina, and me, myself, me and Griffin and Aaron flew out to North Carolina, and we got the help of some truly incredible doctors. And I was sitting and rereading some of my journals tonight, which I filled out obsessively, and it was really interesting. It was really interesting to look back now as someone who's in recovery, or, you know, I don't know if I'll say, you know, ever say recovered, because I think that the effects of it are really rooted deep in me now. But I'm really better by probably everyone's standards. What will people think of me? And everyone will think I'm a bad mother. And if they know that I have these thoughts or these feelings, they're going to think that I shouldn't have this baby. And then the biggest fear is if I talk about this and if I reach out for help, that my baby's going to be taken away from me. And I know I personally experienced those fears. It held me back from saying things. And then magnified was this societal pressure, especially from being a mom who's lost 2 older children, of, you know, you need to be happy. Like, look at your blessing in front of you. Why can't you just be happy? Look at your baby here. And I think a combination of all of those things really made it so that it was absolutely so difficult for me to reach out and get help. And that is what I hope to have a really big impact on. That's one of the areas in which I really hope to leave my mark, is that I want to be open about it, and I want to talk about it, and I want to be able to look at people and say, listen, that thought that you think is absolutely crazy, that thought that you think is going to be the thought that gets your baby taken away, it's not crazy. Your baby won't be taken away, and there is help there, and there is moving past those feelings and those thoughts. I never thought in those moments that I would ever feel okay again, that I would ever feel normal again, and I do, and I feel better. And, you know, the combination of incredible programming and therapy, a ton of therapy, medication, and really good self-care and support. Support was huge for me from my family and from my friends. I think a combination of those things really set me up for success, and probably a more rapid success than a lot of people would see if all of those factors weren't in place so perfectly. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot to come. We're probably never going to discuss it with lots of laughs. It's serious. It needs to be taken seriously, and it was a very serious, scary, terrible time in my life. And I'm really, really thankful and fortunate that all of the circumstances were in place, all of the different supports were in place for me in the wonderful way that they were, and without those I know I would have never survived it. So I thank you, and I'm really excited to talk with you guys more about this in the future. I hope that we can start breaking the silence of postpartum mental health, so that people can really feel safe and comfortable talking about it, and we don't have to, as women and as mothers, suffer in silence for such a long time. So you're not alone if you're struggling, and there is support. I will link to a support group that I am running and part of myself, still getting support. And we would love to have any of you that need any of it. Click follow, like, and follow our journey. Follow Love Lives here, and see all of the exciting videos that we have coming up. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and we will talk soon.